Hi, I'm Denise Gorse from Loyola Press, joined by Becky Eldredge for an Ignatian conversation. Becky Eldredge is an Ignatian-trained spiritual director, retreat facilitator, and author of two books, The Inner Chapel and Busy Lives and Restless Souls. Becky joins us from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Welcome, Becky.
Hello, Denise. I'm glad to be here.
Becky, you talk about the inner chapel as the place within where God meets us. Have you learned anything from readers that deepened your understanding of the inner chapel?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I mean, haven't first of all, let's just ask you too. Haven't you when you're writing has your writing and a reading of others helped deepen your relationship with God?
Oh, absolutely. I learn all the time from the writers on Mage's blog
Yes.
and
Yes.
and other sources I read and
Others.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I feel I have learned so much, not just from the writing process, but then when a piece of writing comes out into the world, whether it's like a blog for y'all or a book or whatever else, retreat content, whatever it might be, to watch how it moves, how God uses it to move in another person is a pretty profound thing to witness. And so readers have taught me so much because part of it is they help me hear questions. So they might have read something and they ask a question. I'll give you a great example after I'll never forget this one. Somebody who had read Busy Lives and Restless Souls. And I was given a retreat on it. This was somewhere in California, right after the book had come out. And she pulled me aside on the break and said, "Well, Becky, what if I'm not restless?" Right? She was an older woman. She was in retirement. The way I was talking about being busy and restless wasn't resonating. And so we stood in the parking lot and whatever, I forget this little city in California, and had this conversation that has continued to impact. I mean, I know there's pieces of it in the inner chapel, there's pieces of it in my retreat work. And so she helped me name it as longing.
Mm.
Like for her, the word restless wasn't resonating. She was not in the sense of a busy schedule phase of life, but what she could really resonate with was how much her heart longed for God. And so, having her come and engage in that conversation after reading it and experiencing it on a retreat, it just helps me go, okay, wait a minute. That word longing really resonates with what goes on inside of us, right? Within our inner chapel, that not only are we longing for God, but it also helped me understand how much God longs for us.
Mm.
And so there's so many moments that I can think of along the writer's journey that somebody will say one thing, they'll lift out one little sentence and ask a question that opens up this pathway to all kinds of new insights and not only for me but for others, and I think that's so
Mhm.
much of our spiritual life, Denise, is it's never just about us. God offers us and, gives us great, abundant graces that are not only for us to receive, but also for us to share. I mean, and I think that's so part of our Ignatian paradigm. Our pathway to God is, how are we called to share what we've received with others? And so I'm so grateful when people ask me questions or come and offer their own wisdom that expands, because then I can bring it into my own life, my own prayer. And in turn, I feel like that bleeds out into I'm a better listener. I can walk with people better. It might show up in a book, it might show up on a retreat. And I think the other thing I really want to say that readers have taught me, and just people I've accompanied have taught me, is the word faithfulness. Like what I'm always so struck by in listening to people on a journey, on this journey of this pathway to God, is the witness of people's faithfulness, like how they keep showing up, even if it's confusing, even if it's stepping into mystery, even if it's dark or if it's light, if it's a moment of hope or despair. how many people I know who just keep showing up to be with God, and then to see God's faithfulness to that person, and so that is probably one of the key things that has deepened in my understanding, is how faithful God is to us, and how I think we as humans do a decent job of being faithful back, you know? I mean, we got growth to do. Right, Denise?
Oh, no doubt about that. But yeah, I think that's beautiful to think of that with the faithfulness and just that we just keep showing up and
Yes,
you just keep doing it and God will meet you where you are. That too is very Ignatian. God
yeah.
takes you where you are and then he can lead you where you want, where you need to be, where you're
Well, and
called to be.
the hope, like, I feel like it births hope. Like, even just hearing you say it, it's like I can feel my spirit rise. Like, there's a hope, a buoyiness of hope and faith that happens. And I think that's when I think of the readers, like all the years of like writing for the Loyal Press blogs, whether I mean all the projects you've asked me to write with you on. It's just the witnesses of hope that we get to encounter in this world of Ignatian writing. Don't you find there's just so many profound witnesses of hope and faith?
Mhm. Oh, exactly. Yeah, and it's just thinking about things and what people have shared through the years as witnesses. And Becky, you're a good example of being a witness yourself because I've had the pleasure of hearing you speak in person a few times and you bring out the stories and you share not just your own experience, but what other people have shared with you that's really resonated. So you bring that community in front of us all to help us keep expanding our Ignatian world.